The Faculty of Veterinary Science at Onestepoort is situated 10 kilometers north of Pretoria and is home to the Department of Veterinary Tropical Diseases. The department was established in 1993 following amalgamation of the departments of infectious diseases and parasitology. To fulfill its mission, the department relies on administrative support from the faculty and main campus of the University of Pretoria, and makes use of modern lecture rooms and a sophisticated library, which are housed in the impressive Tyler building, named after Sir Arnold Tyler, the pioneer and innovator whose name is synonymous with veterinary science worldwide, and who was appointed as the first dean of the faculty at Onestepoort in 1920. Sir Arnold Tyler researched many infectious and parasitic diseases and played a crucial role in the control or eradication of many livestock diseases, including rinderpest, which broke out in 1896 and which destroyed millions of cattle and other cloven-hooved animals south of the Zambezi River. The department contains several modern research laboratories, a student-centered learning laboratory, and a display area where all activities of the department are on show. The Department of Veterinary Tropical Diseases boasts the largest full-time staff complement of any department at the faculty. Emeritus, honorary, and extraordinary professors are appointed to broaden the expertise of the staff complement, while private sector financial support provides additional scientists and technical staff members to conduct research according to that sector's mandate. Full and part-time postgraduate students from all over the world play an integral and important role in accomplishing the department's research objectives. The Faculty of Veterinary Science of the University of Pretoria, the Onestepoort Veterinary Institute, and the Onestepoort Institute for Exotic Diseases are situated within a 2-kilometer radius of each other. This affords unique opportunities for cooperation in terms of facilities and expertise that are unequaled in Africa, and indeed in most parts of the world, to study tropical and subtropical infectious and parasitic diseases. The Onestepoort Institute for Exotic Diseases is a high-security laboratory where highly contagious diseases such as foot and mouth disease can be studied. The staff of the Department of Veterinary Tropical Diseases collaborate closely and work in multidisciplinary teams with research workers at the aforementioned institutes. They also cooperate closely with many other institutions which deal with infectious and parasitic diseases in southern Africa to ensure that the expertise and facilities of the region are optimally used and that duplication is avoided. Before embarking on a detailed account of the activities of the department, it is important to examine the environment in which it exists and functions, with particular reference to the interactions of wild and domestic animals, as well as human communities in South Africa and other southern African countries. The countries in the subcontinent comprise communities of various socio-economic strata, and animals are consequently kept under markedly different conditions, and these influence the occurrence of diseases. The human population of southern Africa is increasing rapidly, and a large proportion of it is dependent upon small-scale farming, where livestock is important, not only as a source of food, investment and transport, but also from the role it plays in cultural affairs. Horses, and in particular thoroughbreds, have exceptional monetary value, and are mainly used for racing or other recreational purposes by the more affluent sector of the community. The thoroughbred industry is one of the largest generators of income for South Africa. Dogs and cats are chiefly kept as pets. In the context of the environment in which the department operates, the importance of livestock production to the national economy of most Southern African countries, as well as to the well-being of the population, cannot be overemphasized. It is for these reasons that our main aim is the eradication, or at least control, of the diseases which plague these animals. Tropical and subtropical Africa, while renowned for its floral and faunal wealth, is equally notorious for the large variety of infectious and parasitic diseases, which are periodically responsible for severe losses in domestic and wild animals. The subcontinent consists of a variety of vegetation zones and ecosystems, which undergo periods of below or above average rainfall, and which are ravaged by severe veld fires, all of which have a direct bearing on the occurrence of diseases, especially those that are transmitted by insects. In these ecosystems, a large diversity of small and large wild mammals, birds and reptiles, as well as arthropods such as ticks, flies, mosquitoes and midges, many of which are carriers of infectious and parasitic diseases, coexist with domestic animals and their owners. The rich diversity of wildlife in southern Africa is closely linked to ecotourism, which is an ever-expanding source of income and foreign exchange. However, many of these wild animals may act as carriers or reservoir hosts of infectious and parasitic agents of domestic stock. The African buffalo is the reservoir of the viruses that cause foot and mouth disease and the Theileria parasites which cause cattle theileriosis. Warthogs are a source of the virus of African swine fever. Blue wildebeest carry the virus of malignant catarrhal fever or snotsiekte. Many antelope species are carriers of trypanosoma protozoan parasites that cause trypanosomosis, which is one of the major obstacles to proper human land use and cattle production in large parts of Africa. Zebras act as reservoirs of the virus that causes African horse sickness. This disease is a threat to the horse population worldwide. Scientists in the region have therefore had the opportunity of studying a wide spectrum of diseases under natural and experimental conditions, probably unequaled in most parts of the world. The Department of Veterinary Tropical Diseases houses many disciplines under one roof, and this affords opportunities for the personnel to work as a team. Viral, protozoal, and bacterial diseases are each diagnosed and studied in different laboratories. Among the many activities in these laboratories are the processing of specimens for isolation and identification of a wide spectrum of infectious agents of numerous animal species. The ectoparasitology and helminthology laboratories identify and study ecto- and endoparasites such as ticks and worms. For diagnostic and teaching purposes, fecal cultures are regularly prepared. A large collection of specimens of worms and ticks and the lesions that they cause is maintained. The Immunology and Serology Laboratory performs a range of serological tests in order to diagnose and study numerous infectious and parasitic diseases. Newer technology is applied to develop appropriate techniques and tests to study a broad spectrum of diseases. Research in this laboratory is primarily focused on isolating and identifying immunoprotective and diagnostic proteins of infectious and parasitic agents. The diagnostic and research laboratories are underpinned by support laboratories. These are responsible for media and tissue culture preparations and ensure that the necessary consumables are available and of optimal standard. The department achieves its mission by addressing three areas, namely teaching, research, and community service. The first and most important is the teaching of under- and postgraduate veterinary students, as well as diplomates in veterinary nursing. Modern teaching techniques, assisted by a fully equipped and comprehensive library, enable undergraduate veterinary students to diagnose infectious and parasitic diseases of animals and implement cost-effective preventive and other control measures. At the postgraduate level, the department effectively helps to improve sustainable animal health, production and welfare by maintaining high standards of postgraduate education tailored to the requirements of tropical and subtropical countries. The postgraduate degrees offered by the Department of Veterinary Tropical Diseases are Honours of Veterinary Science, Master of Veterinary Science in Microbiology and Parasitology, Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy in all disciplines taught by the department, and Doctor of Veterinary Science. A modular approach is followed in the honours course to accommodate the particular needs and interests of each student. These modules cater for field veterinarians and general practitioners, as well as laboratory-orientated candidates.
Well, what we'll do is
The second part of the department's mission is research. High-quality, problem-orientated research is encouraged. Fieldwork is an important and integral component of most research projects. Research is divided into 5 themes. The Equine Diseases Research theme studies the economically important infectious and parasitic diseases of horses, donkeys, and mules. These include African horse sickness and equine babesiosis. The Ruminant Diseases Research theme deals with aspects relevant to the epidemiology, control, and immunology of selected infectious and parasitic diseases of cattle, sheep, and goats. Wildlife is a particular asset of the subcontinent, and this research theme concentrates particularly on the role that wild animals play as carriers of ecto- and endoparasites and infectious agents that may affect livestock, as well as the diseases that affect wildlife per se. The Vector-Borne Diseases Research theme studies the ability of insects to transmit diseases, as well as methods to detect infectious agents or antigens in vectors. The socio-economic research theme includes not only the socio-economic factors in different communities which influence the occurrence of infectious and parasitic diseases, but also the socio-economic consequences that these diseases may have on communities in South and Southern Africa. Involvement of the community and extension work form integral parts of these studies. Agroeconomists and anthropologists are essential in these multidisciplinary research teams. The impact that infectious and parasitic diseases have on animal traction is also part of this research theme. Community service forms the third part of the department's mission. The department strives to improve community welfare and development by offering affordable and appropriate diagnostic services to the veterinary academic hospital of our faculty and to the outside community. Advisory and consultancy services by specialists in all the disciplines are also rendered. Information on infectious and parasitic diseases is provided through articles, pamphlets, brochures, books, videos, and computer and color slide programs. Short postgraduate continuing education courses on a variety of topics receive special emphasis and are given annually to meet the changing needs of the veterinary profession and of the community. For example, the course on African epizootic diseases is run jointly with the Onastapurt Institute for Exotic Diseases and deals particularly with the epidemiology, diagnosis and control of socio-economically important epizootic diseases of sub-Saharan Africa, such as foot and mouth disease, African swine fever, Rift Valley fever, lumpy skin disease and anthrax. The modular courses in the Laboratory Diagnostic Series train laboratory personnel in the appropriate management, techniques and procedures relevant to diagnostic microbiology and parasitology laboratories in Africa. Scholarships provided by outside agencies make it possible for foreign students to attend these courses. The new South Africa creates new opportunities and challenges, particularly for innovative thinkers and planners. The Department of Veterinary Tropical Diseases is eager to pursue these opportunities and challenges in its new facilities and to be responsive to the needs of the different communities of the subcontinent. It is well placed to take part in and to identify new role players in Southern Africa and further afield to study infectious and parasitic diseases. It is well known that many of these diseases are often the biggest constraint to the sustainable socio-economic development of communities in the subcontinent and indeed the rest of Africa. For more information, please apply to the Head of the Department of Veterinary Tropical Diseases, Faculty of Veterinary Science, Private Bag X04, University of Pretoria.